Alright, I'm gonna stop that for now. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. So, first thing, I'm so sorry for not streaming last Friday. I just physically was not doing that great, so I was like, I'm not gonna try to push myself into doing something that I probably would not have ended up well for me. It's really bad Friday. I cannot tell you why. First of all, how is everyone doing? I would love to know. Please comment wherever you are, wherever you're watching this. I should delete that. I don't need that now. Anyway, first things first, I gotta get our housekeeping out of the way. So, you'll notice this little bar up here up top is telling you about some follower goals we have. Our ultimate goal of this year that I have set for myself, honestly, just for the sense of I need to have something to do, some sort of sense of accomplishment, is that we are trying to hit 50 followers by hopefully May or June of this year. It is fast approaching. Oh yeah, 2 weeks. It's May. It's gonna be May in 2 weeks. Holy shit. Definitely not made for kids. I'm so sorry. But in the meantime, on our little journey on the way to 50, I've set up some follower goals on our way. So as of right now, we've hit 2 of them, but we still have obviously a long way to go. As you can see, we are at 25 followers. Quite happy about that. Quite proud of that, honestly, with the journey that we've been on. Yeah, we're halfway to our goal, but obviously we want to keep moving. We want to keep the memento going. So, at 35 followers, I can see where my hand is. There we go. At 35 followers, right there. We're going to be doing some Hogwarts house quizzes together just to figure out what my Hogwarts house would be, and then collectively, chat, we're going to find out what your definitive Hogwarts house is. Whatever results we get at the end of those quizzes, that's it. I'm going to take that as the end-all be-all. I'm not going to try to do that again and figure out. Maybe I've changed over the years, but who knows? But whatever happens, that is the end-all be-all. At 45 followers, we're going to be doing a Lego building stream. I have a cute little baggie of a Star Wars X-Wing set off of the side there. I'm wanting to try to build that, but honestly, I've been saving it for you guys because I would love to do that as a stream together. 45 followers only. And then at 50 followers, which is our ultimate goal, I'm letting you guys chat, decide what we do. Okay. A little nervous about that, but you know what? I have complete and utter faith in you. I have a lot of trust. Yeah, so I feel like I should mention some things that have happened to me since the last time we've streamed. Or at least the last time I saw you guys. Yeah, Friday, I'd gone to the doctor with my sister on Friday, actually. And I wasn't even gonna see the doctor. I was just like, oh yeah, I need to update some stuff with them and like refill medication. And then I ended up seeing my doctor anyway, which is really funny to me because I was like, I did not intend to be here, but I'm here anyway. I'm like, I don't know. When I was like talking to my doctor, because I do actually feel very comfortable with him, you know, discussing everything, I was like, oh yeah, I don't feel great, and I have not felt great since the eclipse. Now, I don't know what was happening, but it was like, yeah, I am very much pushing myself to do like my normal things, like try to keep up the schedule, obviously over here on stream, and just in general, just keep moving. But like honestly, physically, I have never really felt that bad. Which is interesting to say because honestly, my physical health is absolutely terrible. I mean, I'm an asthmatic. I have to take medication just to be able to make sure that I don't die of a stroke at the age of 31. You know, it's not fun, but I'm okay with it. I need to regulate in how I'm doing things. So I felt like at that time I was like, huh, I've not felt this bad in a long time. The last time I felt this awful, physically speaking, was back when I first first was diagnosed with asthma. Like, I was just not doing great. So I was like, okay, I don't feel great. Every time I'm like walking around or if I'm like doing anything too quickly, I feel like my head is spinning. I was not doing great. Let's establish that. I was not doing great, so I was like, I can't push myself to the point where I'm like, honestly, I'm gonna be like physically feeling dead. But I at least look decent? I don't know. I don't know how to describe that thing. That was Friday. Saturday, Sunday was interesting. You know, my family is very involved with the church and religious activities because they are much more into this whole thing than I ever am. I think it's also just because of, like, as I've grown up within these, like, very religious settings, I, a lot of the messages they say there ends up sounding much more harsh, and then you grow up and you kind of just notice, like, everybody I've ever known in these religious settings are, like, the biggest hypocrites I've ever met. I don't I don't understand how you could say and preach one thing, but then very much act the opposite of that. Where it's, and like, you expect your kids to essentially just be like living dolls so that you can manipulate them to do whatever they want. Like, to do whatever you want. And yet, you want to say that you have a good relationship with your kids, or that, hey, you know, religion really saved us at this time. And I'm like, great. Believe whatever it is you want to believe, but also, can you be respectful of other people having difference of opinions, or like wanting to figure things out for themselves? Like, why are you pushing that over them? Yeah, it was really hard to shake that over the weekend because I was like, I gotta be in religious stuff because I have no choice. Actually, headed all the way down to like Stafford, Virginia, literally just for like, we left here, got to Stafford, we booked a hotel, only to stay one night in the hotel. Yee. Man, one room, a lot of old people, and they're so loud. And so, their snores are insane. Honestly, they rival that of like an actual train coming. I don't know how on earth a person could make those sounds, but like, people prove me wrong all the time. And that was my Saturday night. Was at a hotel with my parents and three other very old people who are very much close to the age of retirement. It was interesting. Sunday, you know, I'm down there, Stafford, Virginia, in this all-day church thing, and I was like, I'm dressed up for this thing because I had to. Now, if I'm going to have to wear the same dress as everybody else, including these old people, I'm going to style this the way I like. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna just do things my way. I'm not going to like completely follow them. Then I run into an old friend, a childhood friend, but also like we're not that close. And honestly, the most interesting thing about that friend is the people around them. Like, honestly, if you talk to them, you kind of realize they never really talk about themselves. They always talk about everybody else, including you, to other people. So, like, information that you would have wanted private is gonna be released to other people. This is how I found out that this person had outed me to another one of our friends, like, years ago. I did not appreciate that. Honestly, like, I'm pretty, obviously, I'm pretty open with my sexuality, but I'm like, I don't want other people saying that. I don't know. I feel like a coming out thing is a very personal experience. So to have someone essentially tell other people, oh yeah, they're this, and not, they're taking that experience away from you, and they're immediately you see just like a complete disregard of trust, respect. Like I don't know. I'm still close with them because I'm like, we are the only few people who are around the early to mid 20s. Okay, let's be honest, guys. I'm 23. I'm not gonna bullshit this. I'm 23. I was born in the year 2000, honestly. But like, this person is supposed to be like older than me because they're December 2000, not December. They're January 2000. I'm December 2000. Right? It's like only a few months older than me, and yet somehow, some way, I don't know. They act like they're much older than they actually are, but I also remember, like, to be honest, they don't spend a lot of time with people their age. They spend a lot of time with, the old people that we're always with in these religious settings who are very much close to the age of retirement. I can't get over that. They are quite literally boomers. They were quite literally born during that generation. Like, that time period. That's them. So, like, I feel a little bad, but also I invite them to try to do stuff, and it's like, you ghost me. You don't give me answers. So I was like, okay. You're not actually actively trying to hang out with people your age. And if you are, most of the time it is within a religious setting that's very much monitored by the old people. So I'm like, you're never fully, like, you know, there. I don't know. I don't know what the thing is. Spending time with them for a bit until, you know, some of the younger kids that we grew up with came. And I was like, I remember that when I first met you, you were like 6 years old, and now you're 17. And I was like, damn, I'm old. I'm old, and I very much recognize that I'm struggling. And you know what? So proud of them, honestly. These sweet baby beans are no longer babies. And throughout that whole time, I spent just time with them, and it's just like, yeah. Yeah. The fact that I know these kids better than their own parents do, yet their parents love to talk about how close of a relationship they have with their kids, is very funny to me. Because I was like, yeah, I don't talk down to your kids. I try to connect with them, and I try to talk to them in a way that was like, when I was their age, I'm trying to be the person that I wish I had when I was their age. I mean, obviously I had my sister, but like, she's my sister. I have to like her, you know? But for these kids, I was like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, but like for these kids, again, I've seen them from when they were 6 years old to now being 17, 18 years old. I feel old. But honestly, it's been so much fun to watch them grow up. And I was like, oh yeah, they're going to be 18 next year. And for those of you who don't know, 18 is a very, how do I say this? 18 is a very special time for the Filipino culture, because at 18, you have a special birthday party called a debut, where for typically women, especially, like that's their, like, you are becoming a woman. It's like a sweet 16, but instead of at 16 years old, it's at 18. And for Filipinos, we have this thing called 18 candles, which is the 18 most important women in our life that we give candles to. Sometimes they will make the speech, and sometimes you will make the speech. It just depends on what you decide to do. Then you have 18 roses, 18 most important men in your life, and you just have a dance with them, so that at the end, you have all 18 roses. So they'll give you and they'll dance with you. And then sometimes, if you have the time to do it, it's 18 gifts where they are just going to give you like specialized gifts for you in particular. That's how that works. To hear two of those kids say, "Oh yeah, I want you to be a part of this. When I turn 18, I'm making you a part of this thing." And I was like, "Oh my god, they actually do like me." They're like, "Of course, I wouldn't imagine not having you in there." And I was like, "Wow." I may not have always gotten to see them, like they don't see me that often, but I was like, "Wow, you think I'm that important in your life that you wouldn't imagine not having me a part of this grand thing that pretty much shows the world that you are turning into an adult." And I was like, "Damn, I have to start writing speeches because that's what they're asking me to do, both of them." I was like, "Fuck, I don't know how to write a speech." Oh man, I really don't know how to write a speech that well. So I was like, ugh. I have to, obviously I need to write a heartfelt speech, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that, but I'm gonna try. I spent the whole day with them, and I was like, they're so smart. They are so smart. I am so excited to see the type of adults they're going to be. Because I'm like, if they're this great now as teenagers, imagine them as adults. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited for their future. Especially, it was like, I knew you guys when you were kids. To see you grow and mature and change has been awesome, honestly, for me to watch. And I'm like, damn, I wish I would be able to take on the world like you guys with so much bravery and compassion and kindness. When I was their age, like 16, 17, I was still struggling to figure myself out. Hell, here at 23, I'm still struggling to figure out how to be kind to myself. I've only recently started like figuring out like, hey, I need to give myself more slack. I need to be nicer to myself, because if I'm not nice to myself, then what are we doing here, you know? But I was like, man, these kids, I have never felt more excited about seeing what the future is going to be like. Because I'm like, I have 1,000% trust that the future is bright if they're going to be the ones leading it. I'm trying not to cry thinking about it. But I was like, yeah, I was trying to figure out a good speech for them. And I was like, I've seen you grown up from quite literally a small toddler to now almost an adult, and I've never felt prouder to be a part of that. I've never felt prouder to be the person that you feel so safe with talking to and just discussing like your thoughts and your opinions, and just realizing, oh yeah, you are so much more smarter than your own parents give you credit for. Where obviously I myself can see the hypocrisy of a lot of things, because you just start to notice that type of thing, but to have them notice it much earlier on than I did, and then figuring out like, hey, we can figure out how to make our own space and feel okay with them, and then they still want me to be a part of it. My heart is so full of joy when I'm with them. I love them so much. And I was like, oh yeah, that's it. For the rest of my life, I will forever be content knowing that the one thing I wanted to do while I was on this earth is completely accomplished because of those kids. I do not mean to like be really emotional about this or like anything, but I was like, the one thing I wanted to do while I was here on this earth is that I wanted to know I made an impact on someone just simply by being there, by being encouraging, by, showing them love and compassion and how to have healthy communication with people. I I wanted to be a good role model. And I wanted to be able to provide a safe space for people. To know that I've done that, at least with these kids, I feel like I will forever be content with my life. Honestly, since then, I'm actually doing a lot better. Where I'm like, you know what? I may be struggling with my own things. I was like, if these kids can see me as great and like a role model in their own right, why can't I just like attempt to be a little nicer to myself, give myself a little more grace, and like, hey, whatever happens, happens. You can put in as much work as possible, but sometimes it just comes down to plain old luck, you know? And I've been fortunate enough that I'm like, I found the thing that I love more than anything in this world, which is streaming, which is getting to have an open communication with you guys. I really do love and appreciate all of you that come here for the support. And hey, if you guys want to be a part of this, please hit the follow button. Yeah. But, that's been on my mind. And I was like, wow. One, I feel physically better. I feel like a lot of the bad things that were happening have very much got flushed out of the system. I'm doing better now. I am still going to attempt to try to, do normal, regular daytime job because I do actually need money. But I'm happy to have this. I do very much feel fulfilled with this. If you guys want to be part of the journey, hit the follow button if you'd like. Man, oh god. Whenever you have like a good day, at least for me anyway, I'm always worried that there's going to be something that just happens that ruin everything. And honestly, so far nothing had happened until actually a little bit before stream today. My mother came home today from work. I had made dinner. I made pizza for everybody. Well, no, I just warmed up pizza, to be honest. Just took the frozen pizza and, cooked that. Yeah, she came home and then she ended up doing a Zoom interview for a part-time job. And she got it, and I was like, that's great. What's really upsetting about all of it is just the fact that after the interview, she had the nerve to look me in the face with a smile and just like, yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you get a job. And I was like, are you really doing this now? Are you really belittling me to my face right now as if I don't know how to do anything? It does still upset me. The fact that she had the nerve to say that. Because I'm like, you literally told the guy you had 19 years of experience at one job. Plus, I mean, what, you add in like what? She's been at this job that she has now for like the last 5 years? Yeah, for my entire life. She's pretty much worked the same type of job, so of course you are like overqualified for this part-time job. And yet you want to say to me, "Oh, that's how you land a job. That's how you do an interview." As if you don't know that I have been struggling in that type of thing. Where yes, I have been applying. I have been trying to do interviews, and the one thing that everybody says is that you're a great candidate. Unfortunately, you don't have enough experience, so we're going to have to move in a different direction. Or, we're no longer hiring for this position, but thank you for applying. Where you're not even getting the interview. So it's like, it's not my fault if nothing is happening. If the world around me today is making it damn near impossible for people like me, post-grad, very little experience in any sort of field, but just trying to find some sort of entry level job, it is not our fault that it is that difficult for us to actually, sorry, to like actually get anything. Because yes, on our end, we are trying so damn hard. At the end of the day, it's nothing that we can physically do. It's just what happens. So for you to blatantly say to my face, you know, that it hurt more than I'd like to admit. So yeah, I am avoiding my parents for the time being. At least until tomorrow. Sorry, that got heavy. But it was nice to get out. I feel like I should try to move out, but I also need the money to be able to do that, so it's like, what can you do? But no, like, finding out that, hey, there are some, like, ghost opening things where they're, like, a company says they're hiring for a position, but they're not actually hiring. Or they'll open up a position, have a bunch of people apply, and then find out, oh, yeah, so we don't actually need anybody new. We're just gonna like, go within. And in general, it's just extremely difficult for anyone with barely little experience in any sort of fields. It doesn't matter what degree you have or what skills you have. What matters is the amount of experience nowadays. You don't have that, you don't really have anything. But of course, for, people who have been in the workforce for a long time, it is a little easier. But seeing all the stories on TikTok about, like, how job hunting and recruiting is like, where, oh yeah, it has been made even more difficult now than in the past to get any sort of entry-level jobs because they simply don't exist. Hell, MatPat, right? Who just recently retired. Not even recently, but like MatPat, who just retired. The reason why we have game theory in the first place is because of the fact that he could not find a job as a post-grad. I don't know what they expect me to do. Yeah, no, whenever I, like, do just chatting sessions where it's just me and the camera on here, please expect that it's always going to be a ranting sort of session because I'm just like, I need to get this out of my system. And if I don't get it out now, I don't think I ever will, and it's going to not go well for me. Oh, I recently, like, reconnected with an old friend from high school. And I'm like, I always forget how much I do enjoy talking with them. Even if it is, like, really brief. Or every single time that I do want to talk to them, I have to be the one reaching out. It's just because their socialization is not great. They are even more of an introvert than I am. I mean, I am an extreme introvert IRL. I barely like talking. But no, I'm like, I enjoy our conversations and I like being around them. Should try to hang out with them in person one day soon. But, also in the same boat as me, post-grad, struggling to find a job. But I don't know why, but everybody else doesn't feel like the insane amount of pressure that I feel to try to get a job. I don't know. Maybe it's just the difference of, like, how our parents are reacting to us being unemployed for the time being. And it's like, yeah, they'll compare me to everyone and everything out there where it's like, oh, they were able to get a job in, like, a month. And I'm like, yeah, because they're in the medical field. They just need more people out in the medical field. Like, my sister, she was able to get a job really quickly, and it's because she's a nurse. We need more nurses. Versus me, I have a degree in fucking physics. I can't do anything with that. And everybody else who tells me, it's like, oh yeah, it's real difficult to do anything with that degree. The only thing you can do is possibly teach, and I've realized really late that I don't want to teach. But I can't say anything to them because then what? Then what do I do? So, forever going to have a tense relationship because it's just, I can't talk to them. Because everything I say will go in one ear out the other. It's like, I don't exist. Might as well not exist with them. And then I brought this up before in another stream, much earlier. Where I was like, I had a friend who I was really close with, who knew what I was going through, because I was talking with them about this. And instead of making me feel better, they just made me feel worse. Because they're very much like confirming my worst fears about myself, about this whole thing. So I didn't talk to them for a bit. I have reached out and I've attempted to start talking with them again, but I'm like, I can never be that vulnerable or that close with them as much as they'd like. I don't think I could do that to myself again. I do have to talk to them again to like bring up exactly what was happening. But I mean, how do I bring up to someone who was my best friend, that after I graduated, it just, I don't know, the relationship somehow got worse. I did not expect to be crying so much in this stream, damn it. Oh, it's been nice to rediscover I have emotions again, don't you think? Are you enjoying my suffering? But no, it's... Talking with them made me feel so much worse about myself that I would... If I wasn't crying myself to sleep after conversations with my parents, I was crying myself to sleep after conversations with them even harder. I have to bring that up to them soon. I don't know how to start that conversation, but I gotta do it. Yeah, no, this is fun. We are hanging out, and this is essentially free therapy for me, so I hope you guys are having fun with that. Sorry, emotions. Emotions are not fun, but yeah. I don't know, I've felt much better about things in the past few days than I have in a long time. I don't know if I'm completely happy, but content. I'm like okay, but a lot of things are changing, and I don't know how to let the other people around me understand that. 'Cause trying to verbalize that whole thing is difficult. But yeah, I mean, how are we doing out there? I know there's been a lot more tears this stream than I expected there to be. But yeah, it's nice getting it all out there. Yeah, it's nice getting it all out there. I know when I do streams like this, I'm probably not really, being all that entertaining, but I'm like, the struggle is real. Let's be honest here. As much as I would love to forget about it and just do silly, goofy things with you guys all the time, unfortunately, stuff like this happens where I'm just like, I genuinely just want to talk this out. I know this doesn't really get me a lot of clicks, and I know this doesn't really get me a lot of people to like try to want to be there, part of the journey, part of support things, because I mean, when you get two real people are uncomfortable, which believe me, I get it, but it's like, it's nice to get it all out there, you know? I hope we can get to 35 soon. I hope we can get to 50, because it'd be nice. I feel like I've definitely gotten most of my thoughts out there and out of the way. I've definitely catched you guys up with what's been happening with me. At least since the last time I saw you. I will say this, I've been seeing a lot of dragons lately over on TikTok. Like, so many people. Now, here's the thing. I saw, like, a tarot reading, like a general collective reading someone did, where at the beginning they're like, please be on the lookout for dragons. And, like, a day after that, I open up my For You feed, and it's, like, all dragons. And I'm like, the algorithm listened to me, or it was just fate? And then even more dragons started showing up on, like, everything else I was doing. So I'm like, oh, I guess this is a good thing. You know? I love dragons. I was born the year of the dragon. Yeah, year of the dragon, Chinese zodiac, and then my Western zodiac is Sagittarius sun, Aries moon, and surprise, surprise, Aquarius rising. And then my sun is in the 10th house, which is the house of career. Which apparently means that I don't do well in traditional, like, office settings in terms of job and career things, so I should try to pursue other creative results. And then my personality, my Myers-Briggs personality is INFP, to which they also say I would not do well in an office setting. And yet, everybody tells me that I need to try to get a job in an office setting. It's quite fun. It's quite fun to see that sort of clash, so, yeah. But I think I'm gonna end stream here. It's been nice getting it all out. It's been nice catching up with y'all. I love hanging out with you guys. Sorry this felt more like a free therapy session for me than anything. But, you know, I'm gonna be completely and 100% honest and as authentic with you guys as possible, even though there are parts of my personal life that you will never, ever really know or get to see, because I'm choosing not to put that out there in public. Yeah, this was nice. So thank you guys all for coming to stream today. I do appreciate every single one of you that is a part of this journey. Whether you're over here on Twitch, hitting the follow button and being a part of the follower goals, whether you're over there on YouTube land, deciding to subscribe to the channel, maybe hitting the like button or commenting. Even if, you know, sometimes the YouTube comments, you people are like, where are we? What's happening? Yeah, welcome to my free therapy session. Thank you. I appreciate you. More than you'd like to admit. Yeah, thank you all for coming. I do appreciate all of you. On that note, if you like to talk about some lighter things or just, you know, want to see what else I'm doing and support me in whatever other social media I'm doing, you can follow me over on TikTok. It's at Kai_omai. I mess around with filters. I do mini vlogs, shopping hauls, unboxings. I mostly just mess around with filters, though. It's a lot of fun. So you can see that. That's Kai_omai. You can follow me over on Instagram at Funkos_omai. I post about my Funko Pop collection mostly. Occasionally I post other things too. I do have a lot of memes on my phone that I've saved that I might just do a dump, like a meme dump for the month of April for the sake of, yeah, why not? I just have this. Sometimes I repost stuff from TikTok over on Instagram, so that's at Funkos_oh my. And then if you're feeling a little spicy and you want to see an account that I haven't actively used, or at least I haven't actively done anything public with, you can follow me over on Tumblr. It's at Kai-oh my. That my Tumblr is mostly me fangirling about QSMP. I haven't watched in a hot bit, to be honest. If the eggs aren't there, I'm like, I do enjoy the people. I do enjoy learning new languages. But damn, I came for the eggs. So, yeah. That's Tumblr. Everything is linked in my bio. You can words. Thank you for my Twitch watchers, my Twitch followers for coming. If you haven't hit the follow button already and you'd like to, please do. Free animation. Right here. Honestly, the button is free. There is a little animation that says welcome. Or at least is following. And you get to add numbers up here. Isn't that nice to fill up the progress bar? If you're over on YouTube, YouTube is where I post all of the VODs from Twitch. Yeah, so you can hit the subscribe button if you'd like. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Comment if you'd like. Comment whatever things you like. Maybe I'll answer. I most likely will answer. I do enjoy reading those things. So, yeah, I think that's it for me today. Thank you all for coming to today's stream. I will try to see you tomorrow. Definitely gonna see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're actually gonna play something. I've been meaning to get back into Deltarune Chapter 1. Maybe this time we will finally be able to defeat the secret boss together, so we'll see. Enjoy my suffering in the meantime. So yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm gonna transition you out over to some music, and I'll see you then. Goodbye. I love y'all. Bye.